Good evening, class. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about not using your cell phone while driving or really using any sort of distractions while driving. One of the websites that I went to get some of my information from is actually called distracteddriveraccidents.com. On this website, it gives you a lot of information on, statistics and some of the causes of accidents, whether it be using your cell phone, whether it be, unfortunately, drinking and driving, so on and so forth. There's a lot of different reasons, which I will touch on sort of in the middle of my speech on what can cause distracted driving. So here's a couple statistics for you. Over 2.5 million people in the U.S. are involved in road accidents. Of that 2.5 million, 1.6 million have cell phones involved in them. That's pretty big numbers, and that's just in the US. Sometimes people have to take into account that when we do get these statistics, these numbers seem huge, and it may seem like we're using a broader amount of area. So this is just the United States. So again, I'll say that 2.5 million people in the United States only are involved in road accidents every year. Of that 2.5 million, 1.6 have cell phones involved in them. So really, if you can wrap your head around that, that's pretty much a big deal. 37,000 people die in an automobile accident in the U.S. every day. I know that seems like a really big number, but every day at least 37,000 people die from an automobile accident. Those numbers are pretty traumatizing, for lack of a better word. 1 out of 4 car accidents in the US are caused by texting while driving. I know it's really easy to pick up your cell phone and try to send a quick text message to someone, hey, I'm on my way, or hey, I'm running a little bit late. But really, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. There are a lot of different devices that people are coming up with where you can use your voice to text, and that's even also considered a distraction while driving, because you still have to take the time to look at your phone and your focus really isn't on the road. So unfortunately, hands-free driving is also a distraction. So I know a lot of us don't want to hear that, but it's definitely the truth. Reading a text while driving successfully distracts a driver for a minimum of 5 seconds each time. So like I said, again, when you are looking at that text or sending a text, 5 seconds at least, your eyes are not focused on the road or your surroundings around you. So we really gotta, not use our phones at all is pretty much what this is coming down to. I really urge you to save that text or even that phone call for, when you finally get to your destination. Pull over on the side of the road if you need to, and make that phone call or send that text message, okay? Every day, at least 11 teens die due to texting while driving. These are teenagers. It definitely needs to be made mandatory to not even have your phone in the car if you're a teen. I mean, you're already just learning how to drive. I don't think that it's appropriate for them to be incorporating this into something that they're just now learning. I went to distraction.gov. And it also gave me a couple more breakdowns on some other distractions that drivers are using, or other distractions, period, that we come across every day. Texting, which I've talked to you guys about in depth. Using a cell phone or a smartphone. So again, that incorporates texting, using it. Navigation. Making a phone call, trying to find where you're going, looking at your bank account. I'm guilty of that. If I'm on my way to dinner or to go shopping. I'm guilty of using my quick balance and looking at what my balance is to see how much I can spend. Eating and drinking. So not necessarily drinking alcohol, but you stop by a fast food restaurant and you eat your hamburger and you're drinking your soda. That's definitely a distraction. Talking to passengers. So again, I'm guilty of this. I have two kids, and there are many times when my two boys and I are in the car and our favorite song comes on and we're in there singing and jamming, and I have to be honest, my attention is not on my surroundings or on the road. So that's definitely a distraction. Grooming. Every day on my way to work, there is at least 1 to 2 cars that I pass where someone has their mirror down and they're finishing up their makeup because they're on their way to work. That's definitely a huge distraction, and it shouldn't happen. That's a great cause for an accident, not only for that person that is grooming, but for me as the person in the other vehicle. If I'm looking over at this person applying their lipstick, I'm not paying attention to the road either. Reading. So I kind of touched on this. To include maps or using your navigation or any sort of distraction from the main road. That's something that distraction.gov has mentioned. Watching a video. So we live in a society where videos are the main thing. So those are a couple distractions. I also went to mad.com, which stands for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Their statistics were really horrible. There are 300,000 instances of drunk driving every day. I feel like that is the main distraction that we're dealing with in our society. Before I close, I'd like to give you guys a story. One of my best friends from middle school, her name was Anya. She was on her way to work, and she was having her boyfriend actually drive her to work. They were on a 2-lane road, so one was going north, one was going south, and he took a moment to look at his cell phone, and he passed over into a lane where an oncoming school bus came, and her car collided with that school bus, flipped over, and unfortunately, she's no longer living. And she was the passenger. She wasn't the person that was driving. The person that was driving was the one that had the distraction. If we can just really try to avoid any sort of distractions that will take our mind off of the road, I think that we could at least decrease some of the deaths and the accidents that we're having. Thank you so much for listening to my speech. I hope that I came across as best as I could to persuade you guys not to have any distractions while driving.